The Southern Living Test Kitchen has tested and tasted countless pounds of fudge. So I'm gonna show you some of the things that I've learned through the years, including some of the science behind why chocolate fudge works the way it does, and a method to make it that I think is probably the easiest way to make fudge without compromising on the quality of it. In my estimation, it's not really Christmas without giving and receiving a few full tins of homemade fudge. Rather than using evaporated milk and sugar and boiling it to a precise temperature, the method that I'm going to show you today for how to make fudge is a lot easier. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to melt our chocolate over a double boiler. And I have 10 ounces of bittersweet chocolate chips that I've already chopped and 4 ounces of unsweetened baking chocolate that I've already chopped. You want all of the chocolate to be well chopped because that way you make sure it melts quickly and it doesn't seize up over the heat. So I have my chocolate over a double boiler, but in my other bowl, I'm going to combine the rest of my ingredients, which I'm also going to heat over a double boiler. You want to make sure that when you combine the chocolate with the rest of the ingredients, they're about the same temperature so that the chocolate doesn't react from hitting cold ingredients and become really firm. Rather than using evaporated milk and sugar, I'm using sweetened condensed milk. As its name suggests, it's condensed, meaning it has a lot of extra milk solids that have been condensed into this can, making it super milky and super flavorful and already sweetened, so we don't have to worry about adding more sugar. So I'm gonna add this can of sweetened condensed milk to this bowl, and then I'm gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt and 1 full teaspoon of vanilla extract. The final 2 ingredients are really important. First, it's 1/2 tablespoon of light corn syrup. The addition of light corn syrup to this mixture is essential in fudge because it's an inverted sugar. Sugar, when it is heated up and then cooled down, has a tendency for the crystals to connect to each other and form long chains, which in something like fudge would make it really grainy and gritty. The light corn syrup gets in the way of sugar doing that. So you've got small sugar crystals that make for a really smooth and chewy, delicious fudge. The last ingredient is 1/2 teaspoon of instant espresso powder. Espresso, coffee in general, has a very similar flavor profile to chocolate. It's a really interesting balance of bitterness, astringency, richness, and a nutty flavor. And so when the two are presented together in a dessert, it just amplifies the already strong flavor of chocolate. This fudge is not going to have a mocha flavor to it. Instead, it's just going to have a really robust, rich chocolate flavor. Okay, before I keep going, go ahead and press the subscribe button on the video below so you never miss another tutorial like this. The last ingredient that goes into my sweetened condensed milk bowl here is just 1 stick of butter. The butter helps the fudge be really glossy. It obviously lends richness from the fat that's in the butter, but it also does something kind of magical when the fudge chills. It helps make it set, but it sets it into a really smooth and soft texture, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna transfer this to my double boiler and heat it up until everything is melted and hot to the touch. Rather than fussing with a thermometer, you can just wait until everything is melted together, and when you touch it, if the mixture is hot to the touch, you know it's good to go, so you can take it off the heat. Before you go any further with the process, the next tip that I can give you is to transfer your sweetened condensed milk mixture to a measuring cup with a spout. It makes adding it to the mixer while it's going so much easier. Transfer all of your melted chocolate, which should be perfectly smooth at this point, to a stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be beating this chocolate mixture, and as we do, the air that is incorporated helps to cool the chocolate. And as we add the sugar in the sweetened condensed milk mixture, that sugar will crystallize into a really fine structure, which is what makes the fudge nice and chewy. And now I'm gonna add about 1/3 of my sweetened condensed milk mixture, lock my mixer in place, and I'm gonna turn it on and allow it to start beating just until it's well incorporated. And then I'm gonna add another 1/3 and wait until it's well incorporated. And then I'm gonna add the final 1/3. And when I add the final 1/3, I'm gonna let it beat for about 2 to 3 minutes. You'll notice that the mixture is gonna change. It's gonna thicken up and it's going to become really glossy and it'll be kind of stringy. And that's exactly what you want before you pour it in the pan. For the first few minutes that it's beating, you may have noticed that it was slapping against the side of the wall, and then something changes and it sticks to the side of the wall and makes this really glossy, stringy substance. That's what happens as the sugar crystallizes and everything kind of comes together and gets ready to set. I'm quickly going to transfer all of this mixture to an 8x8 or a 7x7 works great. Greased and parchment paper lined pan. And I'm gonna level it out, sprinkle it with some flake salts because I like salty fudge, and pop it in the fridge to allow it to chill.